Okay, so it's the start of a new year, and it's also high season here in SIEM REAP, Cambodia, so I'm sure a lot of people are curious how that affects the rental market here, and if there's still cheap apartments available. In this video, I'm going to show you some cheap apartments that I found. I'm going to try my best to show you where they are and how much they cost. This street behind me is called Bamboo Street. We're around about 500 meters from the Wat Damnak pagoda. If you're interested in the Wat Damnak neighborhood, I actually did a separate video on that neighborhood where I explore all the various coffee shops and restaurants around. The building behind me has studio apartments for only $200 a month. If you stayed in this building behind me and walked that way for about 10 minutes, you would hit the river and you'd have access to the riverside street food. And then if you kept going 5 minutes after that, you'd be on Pub Street. Here's another building I found. This one is a little bit outside the center of town. You can't really see the building, but it's right there behind me. It's called Kolyan Apartments, and it's down this dirt road. It's not far from the river. From here to get to Pub Street, it would take you about 10 minutes by tuk-tuk, and it's probably too far to walk. About 39 minutes walk. There's not much out here. It's actually really peaceful. So if you're the kind of person that wants to get a little bit away from the center of town, all that craziness, then this might be a good option. There's a coffee shop here, Nisa Cafe. So it's not like there's nothing here, but it's mostly residential buildings and local Khmer houses. But like I said, it's very, very peaceful. I would consider living down here. Right behind me here is the Angkor Grace Wellness Resort. And I'm not advising that you move in there for your retirement, but right across the road from here, there's a bunch of smaller guest houses that rent rooms by the month. One of them is called the Angkor Village Home. And you can rent a room there, or you can rent a studio there for between $100 and $150 a month, depending on the size of the unit. We're pretty far away here from the center. It's going to be 9 minutes by tuk-tuk to Pub Street, and it's too far to walk. But as part of the Angkor Grace Wellness Resort, they have their own gym, which is open to the public, called Meru. It's a brand new gym, so, you know, if you want to move here and get into shape, you know, that would be a good option, because right across the road from your studio, you've got the Meru gym. The reason we're here is because I found two apartments that said they were close to this market. This is a little bit further away. Actually, this is probably the most far away apartments that I found here. According to Google Maps, it's going to be 11 minutes by tuk-tuk to get to Pub Street, and it's too far to walk. But if you want to get away from other expats and more like immerse yourself in the Khmer culture, an apartment up here might be a good option for you. This street here is Lok Taneuy Road, and behind me is Lok Taneuy Residence. And this is one of those hotels where you can rent a room by the month. Now, the price of the room depends on the length of the lease and the size of the room. It starts at only $110 a month. It goes up to $220 a month. And this place has got its own pool. It's also right next to AAA supermarket. In addition to that hotel, I also found a one-bedroom apartment for rent here for only $200 a month. To give you an idea where we are, we're about a 20-minute walk to Pub Street. But if you don't want to walk anywhere, this street's actually pretty cool. You've got loads of Khmer-style restaurants and as well as the supermarket I already mentioned. This next apartment I'm going to show you was described as being really close to the Heritage Walk shopping mall, which is right here behind me. This is a great area to live in because 2 minutes that way you've got the river, and then 5 minutes that way you've got Tafel Road, and if you keep walking past Tafel Road you've got the Anchor supermarket, which is the biggest supermarket in town. So this apartment was described as a studio, but the bedroom's separate. So that's a one bedroom, $230 a month. If you want to go to Pub Street from here, it's a 4-minute tuk-tuk ride, and according to Google Maps, a 16-minute walk. This is Street 26 in the Wat Bo neighborhood. It's actually our neighborhood, it's where we live. And it's a great neighborhood. Behind me is Paris Bakery, which is a great bakery. They've got great coffee. And also on that corner is Tevi's place, which has got some of the best Khmer food in town. It's a really quiet neighborhood, but you're really centrally located. You're within walking distance of the riverside. You've got 2 supermarkets in the Wat Damnak area, which is like a 5-minute walk from here. So I found 2 apartments in this neighborhood. They were advertised as being close to Street 26. And the first apartment was a studio for $180. And it looks like a really good deal, has everything you need. And the second apartment was a 1-bedroom for $200 a month. Both of these apartments are really good deals, especially for a single person. I also found a couple of apartments that were described as being centrally located, but I couldn't figure out where the building was. So the first one is only $150 a month, and the building actually has its own swimming pool, which is a plus. And the second one is $250 a month, but it has 2 bedrooms, and that is really cheap for a 2-bedroom place, especially one as nice as this one. And if I didn't currently have a lease, I would seriously consider renting the 2-bedroom, because that tiny second bedroom would be perfect for my daughter. I was curious about how the cost of these apartments compared with the cost of the cheapest apartments available in the United States. So I googled which city in the US had the cheapest rent, and apparently it's Wichita, Kansas. So I changed my Facebook location to Wichita, Kansas, and the cheapest furnished apartment that I could find was here, 505 North Rock Road, Wichita, Kansas. This apartment looks very nice. It's a 1-bedroom with a shared pool, and the rent is $400 a month. So if Google and Facebook are to be believed, and this really is the cheapest rent possible in the United States, then it can be said that the rent in SIEM REAP is around half what you'd pay in the cheapest US city. Okay, that's it for now. Please subscribe and see you around.